Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. Today we're going to be doing this beautiful verse, chapter 7, verse 21. And the commentaries, oh my goodness, they just completely lit me up this time. So, okay, let's sing the verse together and let's go into it. And this chapter is just so phenomenal. My goodness. Okay, let's sing the verse together. यो यो यां यां तनुं भक्तः श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव वेदधाम्यहम्. Very poetic verse. Okay. So I haven't understood where this was. So the translation is I am in everyone's heart as the super soul, Paramatma. You know, there's Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. God exists in three different forms. Brahman is like the sun rays, sunshine, which is everywhere, and then Paramatma is God residing in every living entity, soul, every single living entity in the universe, in the heart, Paramatma resides, and then Bhagwan is, of course, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. As soon as one desires, so this is the verse, as soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so he can devote himself to that particular deity. Now this is like, why, what, huh, what? And the explanations really help understand. Okay, so let's go word by word and then we'll go into the explanations. Ya, yo, whoever, yum, whichever. Yam, sorry. So whoever, whichever, tanum, form of demigod, bhakta, devotee. So he's basically starting from here, as soon as one. So bhakta, devotee, shraddhaya, with faith, architum, to worship, ichati, desires. So whichever form of demigod or devotee with faith who desires to worship, tasya, to him, achalam, steady, shraddham, faith, tam, that surely I give, basically with the dhami. So to that person, whichever form of demigod, a devotee with faith desires to worship, to him I will give that steady faith, surely. Okay. Okay, so now, now the commentaries. So here is also the translations. Whichever form, celestial form or devotee seeks to worship with faith, I steady the faith of such a devotee in that form. Excuse me. Okay. Now the commentaries. God has given independence to everyone. Therefore, if somebody wants material enjoyment and they want this facility from the material demigods, then God, as the super soul in everyone's heart, that form of the God, that is the super soul in everyone's heart, who is watching what we want, understands and gives facilities to such person. He does not interfere. So if we want material desires and we want to worship the demigods, then he will, for material gain, then he will give that to us as a father. So the question is then, why does God give this thing, this facility, so that we fall into Maya? Why does God want us to develop faith in the demigods, and why does God want us to get this material stuff? Because it's independence, right? I mean, that's what, if we want whatever we want, He will give. He gives us 100% full independence. That's why you'll see everybody having faith, intense, immense faith in whoever they want to have immense faith in, right? Whether it's actually atheism. I had an intense, immense faith in atheism. I was so strongly atheist. I was like hardcore atheist. He gave me that faith as well. Except that he didn't. He was very smart. He kept throwing that rope down to me so that I would pull it. I would grab onto it and he would pull me up, and he did. So that's what my journey brought me here. But yes, he will, along with that rope, he will throw that rope down, but he will basically give you the faith that you want. I mean, that's why we have different religions, and everybody has faith in their own religions, and that's why this helps explain so much, though, right? Why every single person has faith in whatever their belief system is. Why in the Hindu thing, there's so much people that impersonalists have so much faith in their Brahman, think that is the ultimate, and the demigods, people who are worshippers of Kali Ma, like Swami Vivekananda and his Guru Ramakrishna, they were bhaktas of Kali Ma, and they had huge immense faith in Kali Ma. and they were Advaita people, but the Advaita people also believe in bhakti as a means to Gyan, which is because for them Gyan is the ultimate goal. So that was there, and then there was um, people who believe in, different Brahma or Shiva or whoever. I mean, so you can have faith in whatever, and because you have independence, God will give you whatever you want. So, okay, but then he explains further why he gives you faith in that and how that helps you, because whatever he does for your sakes, he does for your good. Okay, now the Prabhupada talks about the living entities and the demigods. Both are subordinate to the will of God. And so this is the crucial thing. A living entity cannot worship the demigod by his own desire, nor can the demigod bestow any benediction without the supreme will. Okay, so we out the desire in us, that's what this verse is saying, the desire in us to worship a demigod is made strong, it's given to us by God, by the supreme God, by Krishna, right? And the demigod's ability to give us whatever material gains we want, that is also Krishna. Nothing moves without Krishna, not a blade of grass moves without Krishna. This commentary is just perfect. It's helping so much. Okay, so people who are distressed in the material world will go to the demigods, and so then he gives example, people who have illness will go to the sun god, people who want education will go to Saraswati, people who want a beautiful wife will go to Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva, and there are many different demigods to go to for many different things. And so if we want those things, God will inspire us with a strong desire to achieve that, so that we get it. So that will be bhakti, that will be devotional service towards that demigod, and that will be arranged. Now the demigods themselves cannot infuse the living entities with such an affinity, but Krishna can. This is the crux of this verse, that Krishna gives us the desire and the faith to, if we have material desires, then Krishna will give us the desire and the faith to worship with steady faith these demigods. And it's so good. Okay. Yeah, the demigods are actually the different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they have no independence. Okay, now this line is pretty amazing. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the Super Soul, is also present within the heart of the demigod. Therefore, he arranges the demigod to fulfill the desire. We just saw that earlier. So the demigod fulfills the material desire, but that's because Paramatma is there in the heart of the demigod as well. He's there in the heart of every living entity, including the demigods. Both the demigods, therefore, both the demigod and living entity are dependent on the supreme will. They are not independent, right? Okay, so Swami Mukundanand here, he talks about we find countless devotees engaging towards this with unflinching faith. Why do they do this lower form of worship? Because he is the creator of that faith. Even in the gods, he is the creator of the faith in us as well as in the demigods. So when he finds people, so the ability to create shraddha or faith is beyond the capacity of the demigods. It is the Paramatma. So he does talk about the Paramatma as well, like Prabhupada talks about it's the Paramatma who inspires that faith. And so he says in 15:15, I am seated in the heart of all living beings, and from me comes memory, knowledge, as well as forgetfulness. I am everything. Okay, so I didn't quite understand how that is relevant in this. Okay. So why, yeah, so he had mentioned earlier, Shri Krishna, that people who are true knowledge people, just in the previous few verses, that people who are in true knowledge engage in bhakti of Krishna. So then why does Krishna create faith towards this? Is that not bad? So that is basically like parents giving dolls to small children. They give the dolls to small children, and the small children develop the love and affection towards them, because it helps the child develop qualities of love, care, and affection towards other people. These qualities will help people become socially responsible. So we are developing the skill of bhakti. Even with the demigods, when we want material, oh, this is so good, I want to take, I can feel this. Even when we want material things, God is helping us by developing bhakti towards demigods, because that bhakti can then, like the skills of bhakti, once we have them, we just transfer them. Once our hearts are purified and the material desires have kind of subsided, then it just transfers to um, uh, Krishna, right? It gives us the ability to love. It gives us the ability to be devoted. It gives us the ability to serve in a way that also supports our material desires in that moment. It's beautiful, just so beautiful. Similarly, our eternal parent, God, is aware of our ignorance. So when we have that when we have steady faith in the material, in the demigods, then this experience will help the evolution of the soul. And therefore, once we acquire true knowledge that Supreme Lord Krishna is the summum bonus, then we will surrender. Okay, that's it for this verse. I am really, really loving this journey of reading the Gita, and I'm listening to Swami Sarvpriyanand as well, and he's phenomenal explanations about things, and I'm listening to all kinds of things. So in my project of chapter 3 of becoming an expert at chapter 3, I'm listening to all kinds of lectures from chapter 3, mostly ISKCON lectures, but some Swami Sarvpriyanand lectures as well. And it's just been, and I'm reading my translation. I translated it myself with using Sanskrit words, like not translating the words like yog and brahma and things like that, just keeping those as is, param, siddhi. So I'm reading my translations every day, the whole, like basically all 43 verses of the chapter, and it's helping me understand to a much deeper level. Every day I feel like I'm understanding just a little bit deeper, and then so that somehow is helping me understand this also. I don't know how, but somehow I guess I'm not feeling so overwhelmed, because I used to just feel like I'm not getting anything. I'm just reading one verse at a time every day, and I'm not understanding anything. I'm not able to see the big picture of anything. So now, because I'm doing that, and I'm able to understand, getting slowly deeper understanding of chapter 3. So I'm not at least one thing. So it's helping me steady somehow. It's helping me steady even in chapter 7. I'm feeling more grounded. I'm not feeling as all over the place as I was feeling earlier. I was earlier. I mean, I'm now going to 3 Gita classes every weekend, and it's great. I'm learning everything, learning everything. I'm learning a lot from them, right? 3 different people, 3 different teachers, 3 different perspectives, plus the lectures, plus like all kinds of things. But I think the most powerful thing, well, this is very, very powerful for me because, but I think the most foundational thing for me right now is the chapter 3 studying that I'm doing, because it's helping me find this particular thing more powerful. So yeah. Okay, that's it for this video. We'll do chapter 7 verse 22 in the next video. Wish you a day filled with spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.